Do you know what are the important ones? Non-synthetic sources you should be knowing on your tips to enlist if ever asked to. To find out an answer to this question, buckle up cause today we are going to talk about this. Welcome all to Is Pharmacology Difficult podcast. I'm your host Dr. Radhika Vijay, MBBS MD Pharmacology, and this is the audio hub to get the best simplified basic tips, strategies, methods and a lot of ideas to learn better, understand better and make your concepts crystal clear. If you really find and if there's a question hovering in your minds, is pharmacology difficult? Lend me your ears for a while and let in the magic of knowledge. Let me spill over some thoughts along with my cup of coffee today to discuss and converse about non-synthetic drug sources. As a common rule or as a common order, I want to number my list from plant or vegetable sources. Again, let's turn your head towards the history. You know how much I love the historical aspect? Plant or vegetable sources have been the oldest sources known. Egypt, India, Greece, China, they all have propounded and practiced a lot about the different traditional medicinal streams. And what are these streams? Yes, you know a few of them, let me tell you. Ayurveda, Aztec, Chinese, etc. And the most commonly known medicinal plants or herbs, they were belladonna, cinchona, opium, sarpagandha, foxglove, etc. Certain medicinal tea plants, especially the leaves of the tea plants, they were known to be used so much for different purposes like relief, cough, cold, etc. Now for learning in a simplified and effective way, let us classify these vegetable sources in different categories. Firstly comes the alkaloids. These are water-soluble salts, hydrochloride or sulfate mainly, of water insoluble, that are alkaline in nature, heterocyclic, nitrogenous compounds. And they are actually the pharmacological active principles of plants. The most basic ones which should be known, they are as follows. The first one to talk about is vincristine, vinblastin, which are obtained from the Vinca rosea plant. Secondly, I have for you is atropine group of drugs. I mean the congeners of atropine also they are included. They are obtained from Atropa belladonna plant. Next, I will tell you about morphine group of drugs from Papaver somniferum, that is poppy plant. Then I have reserpine from Rauwolfia serpentina, pilocarpine from Pilocarpus species of plants, quinine from Cinchona officinalis plant, cocaine from Erythroxylum coca, nicotine from tobacco leaves, then many other known drugs, ephedrine, ergotamine, etc. etc. That was the first category I wanted to tell you. Secondly, next category you all should know is about glycosides. The importance of these lies in knowing the structure of the glycosides. That's really interesting. They have an organic moiety. To be more elaborative, I want to say they are heterocyclic non-sugar entities. And this heterocyclic non-sugar entity that they have is known as aglycone, AGLYCONE. It is linked to a sugar entity which is known as glycone, and this linkage is via an ethereal bond. Now, according to the sugar attached, You know, sugars are of so many types. So these compounds, they can get their names in different forms. If the sugar is glucose, then the compound is a glucoside. If it's an amino sugar, it's aminoglycoside, something that you all know as streptomycin. Now, other important worth knowing examples, they include digoxin, that is digitalis. It is obtained from the leaves of foxglove plant, Digitalis purpurea and Digitalis lanata. As a drug, it's a cardiac glycoside. It is used in the treatment of congestive heart failure, abbreviated as capital CHF. Senna, it is known as Cassia acutifolia. It is obtained from a anthraquinone glycoside, also known as senoside. Then we have another drug, strophanthin or uabae, obtained from Strophanthus gratus, or another plant is Strophanthus combe. That was another set of drugs. Next I have for you is aminoglycosides. The most important one is gentamicin. They are antibiotics obtained from microorganisms. Not exactly plant source, you can say, because I'm talking about microorganisms. So they are included in these plant sources. They contain amino sugar that I just told you. Very good example I gave you was of streptomycin. Now, important note point here to note down is that on hydrolysis, the glycosides, they are split into their respective glycon, that is the sugar containing moiety, and the non-glycon moiety. Now let me divide them functionally too. Yes, you should know what is the importance of these glycon and aglycon things that I'm talking. The pharmacological activity is due to the aglycon, that is also known as the genin, Genin, genin component, while the pharmacokinetic features, they are due to the glycon, that is the sugar component. I hope you all understood these categories quite well. Now you can really understand and describe them on your own. The next category for today I want to talk about is the oils. Now their characteristics are very special. They include high viscosity, inflammability, and insolubility in water. Most importantly, the oil types to study are, first of all, are the fixed oils. Now as the name suggests, they are fixed. Definitely they are non-volatile, derived from higher fatty acids. Now what are these higher fatty acids? They are actually the glycerides of oleic, palmitic, and stearic acids. Now they are edible. Edible means they can be used for cooking. They yield caloric and food value. Now good well-known ones obtained from the solvent extracts of the crushed seeds are, let me give you some examples of the well-known oils: groundnut oil, coconut oil, sesame oil, olive oil, which is obtained from the olive, that is Olea europaea plant. So these are some famous oils that you ought to know. Then also they are used as emollients and they can combine with alkalis, they form soaps. These are their special properties. Another property, they can become rancid if long stay periods are observed. The pharmacologically active ones among the fixed oils, I'm talking about the pharmacologically active ones, they are the castor oil. The castor oil has a stimulant purgative property. It is obtained from the castor plant, that is Ricinus communis. Then some other properties that are pharmacologically important are the demulcent properties, which are found in the arachis oil. And then I want to talk about the emollient properties. They are found in the theobrome oil obtained from the cocoa butter plant, and it is also known as theobrome cacao plant. Now these are extensively used to produce the skin creams and the suppositories. Okay? So these are the most famous fixed oils. I told you what are the edible ones, what are pharmacologically important. So just learn to minutely differentiate also among the different categories. See, there are so many branches, sub-branches, so all you should write down in the form of flowchart. That will be very useful, Like I'm telling you one category, then I'm telling you so many different divisions in that category. So try to write them in the form of a flowchart, because all these activities, they help in learning the subject better, they help in understanding the subject better, and also simplifying in your brains so that you have a set picture of everything whenever you try to recollect anything. Got it? Okay, let's move further. Next type of oils I want to talk about here is the volatile oils. They are also called as essential oils. They are aromatic. Yes, aromatic means they have a fragrance, and they are terpene hydrocarbons derived from the flowery petals or leaves, and the process through which we get them is the steam distillation. That's too much of information. Got it? And they are much volatile in nature. Generally, they don't have any food value. Now, why I'm talking about this? Because we are comparing them with the fixed oils. So that's why I'm talking about the food value here. They don't have any food value. They don't have any soapy formations with the alkalis. They don't have the characteristic feature of rancidity if long stay periods are observed. No foul smelling, nothing like that. Got it? Now let me talk about the different types, their examples, and along with the examples, I'll tell you the different properties also. The first one, the pain relieving property of the oil of clove. It finds its use to relieve the toothache, or what we generally call as the dental pain. Next one is to relieve the congestion. The one can use eucalyptus oil for that. It's very useful. Then the next property I want to talk about is to use as a carminative and flavoring agent, and you can make use for these things. You can make use of ginger, peppermint, cardamom, fennel oil. All these are the spices found in our kitchen, so they are very useful. Got it? Then some are solid at room temperature and they sublimate on heating. And their very good examples are menthol, camphor, and thymol. Then some are used simply for the purpose of flavoring, and very good example is the lemon oil from the citrus lemon plant. Some are used as counter irritants and astringents, especially I'm talking here about the turpentine oil, which is obtained from the pine plant species. It is a great counter irritant. And the various oils used as astringents, they find their use in the production of mouthwashes and gargles. Okay? So for the day, I just want to say that these extensive, elaborative descriptions, before they become too exhaustive, I should halt my dialogue here and just now at the present moment to give a space for the ventilation in the rooms of your mind, to let in the sunlight of new ideas, few to contemplate over, few to enrich, few to revive, few to exit, and much to relax. Yes, the time to chill now, cause more of sources of drugs will find their words in the next episode. For all the updates and the latest episodes of my podcast, please visit www.ispharmacologydifficult.com, where you can also sign up for a free monthly e-newsletter of mine. It actually contains a lot of updates about the medical sciences, drug information, and my podcast updates also. You can follow me on different social media handles like Twitter, Insta, Facebook, and LinkedIn. They all are with the same name, Is Pharmacology Difficult? If you are listening for the first time, do follow me here, whatever platform you are consuming this episode. Stay tuned. Do rate and review on iTunes, Apple Podcast. Stay safe, stay happy, stay enlightened. Thank you.